Yeah, we're live. Not we're live. But yay, we're recording.
That's right. We are on right now. I'm Richie. We are back with another video. I'm joined by my co-host for today.
I'm Alex.
And we are back with another fun video. This one was another fun idea by Alex, but I decided I was gonna do a little bit of explanation this time. Um so this one is in a sense recasting game changers. In a sense of kind of who we thought should have been on there at the time. Now, the requirements we had was I almost dropped my mic. The requirements we had was it could be anyone from seasons 1 to 33. However, anyone after that, not eligible. It could include people who were on the cast. However, it could basically could also not include some people from the cast. So obviously this is going to be a recasting. Game Changers is typically seen as one of the worst returning seasons in terms of casting. So much so that even Christian Hubicki notoriously ripped Jeff a new one in David versus Goliath, which where's the deep cut in that, I'd like to see it. But yeah, I think that's about it, unless I missed something, Alex.
No, you didn't really miss anything at all. You're pretty spot on there. So I say we just go right into it with the men's side. So we'll just go like bouncing back and forth, picking one men, which will go to go like 10 men in general. We'll both pick five. We'll kind of like bounce back and forth and picking. But yeah, I guess I'll start off first if that works, because this I guess it's my idea, so I'll go first. Um, First player who was not on the season, and I really wished he was, and who was a real game changer, is Rob Cesarino. He is like a true game changer. First player to utilize flipping as a major strategy in the game, and he is the best to never win. So like he really deserved to be on that season, and that'd be really cool to see him because like we've not seen him in a while, and like that would have been a really cool surprise to see him and I'll play him with like a true all-star cast as well. But that's my first pick, so I'll pass it right back over to you.
I love Rob Sesternino. So the fact that you picked him, that makes me very happy. I'll be very open and saying right now, I actually did not make a list this time, but most of my picks are essentially like people, most of my picks are people who were not on the Game Changers cast itself. Just like my first pick, Sean Rector. Yeah, you knew I was gonna go for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't even try putting him. I didn't try putting him on my list at all because I knew that he would be on there.
Well, because he actually did do a lot of game changing maneuvers. He helped to form the alliance that took down the Road to 4, caused the first ever flip in the game. Definitely brought forth a lot of interesting arguments of the time regarding race, which I think in itself even changed the game. Even for the season back then, had a big impact towards the end of the season, um, especially in his boot round. But overall, Sean's a very interesting character who I definitely think should have been on the season. He has a lot of potential on a return. He definitely like he has a lot more brain cells than some people that were on this cast of Game Changers in real life. I think that we can agree with. Um, my first pick is Sean Rector. Alex, I will pass it back off to you.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick a player who was on the season and rightfully deserved to be like Riley deserved to be on the season as well. Um, are we doing winners? Right? We're doing
Yeah.
winners. Yeah. Okay. I'm doing Tony. You know, Probably one of the flashiest players to ever win. His bag of tricks, his spy shack, he really changed the game on how to actually play a really dominant game, even while you're just a very chaotic guy. And him, totally just besting Wu and making him take him to the finals is also like a huge, just like how does that happen kind of play. So Tony really again deserves to be on that season, and I'm happy he did. Too bad he only lasted a bit, but like yeah, he really earned his spot on that season.
I definitely agree with that. Tony earned his spot on the season as a whole. And there's so many men and women who I definitely want to put on this season. And even for myself, I kind of knew a majority of this cast of who I wanted on to begin with. Like I said, a good chunk of the spots are mostly dedicated to non game changer people. However, the second spot, I did want to give a light to my second pick in JT Thomas, first guy to get a perfect game, unanimous win. That changed the game in itself. We did see him on the cast. He didn't really do so well. He was kind of up against a lot of, I don't want to call them layups because some of them actually did do pretty decently. Some of them probably shouldn't have came back. But yeah, JT, I don't think I have to explain it, especially in Heroes versus Villains. He didn't even win that season, but he still had such a monumental impact of the game and just how the end game turned out. Like, I'm not going to explain it. You know the story. And if you don't, go watch the damn season. My second pick is JT. Aleks, passing it off for year number 3.
Yeah. Plus, also giving away an idol to one of the most notorious villains ever, as well as pretty game.
Fucking Russell Hans.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
So I'm gonna stay on the trend of picking players who are on the season. I'm picking Malcolm. Like really
I
great player.
almost picked him. I knew you were
Yeah,
going to pick him. I
really
knew
great
you would.
player, deserving to be on the cast. The three Amigos Trouble Council, one of the most like iconic Trouble Councils of all time. Pulling out two idols and saving his not only saving his alliance but saving his other, well, saving his butt, but also like Eddie's butt as well, and like just totally just blindsiding Philip, and that's like again like one of the most classic cases of like being idled out, and then also having like the most like the greatest like storytelling alliance of all time with with Denise. Like that's also pretty crazy as well. So yeah, he is like a true game changer in that in that fashion, and like he is just a great overall player as well. So yeah, I picked Malcolm as my second pick.
This pick may be a little controversial in some aspects. Like I said, I didn't think of a full on list for this, but there were a lot of names I did actually consider. And one name is someone who I actually really do think should have been on Game Changers, could have driven up some drama a little bit, even if he was out early again. Russell Hands. Like, come on. It's like JT and Russell being on the same tribe again. It's like, I mean, Russell Loki, I think, should have been on Game Changers. I think it would have added a lot of fun little drama. Granted, he hasn't exactly graced so well after, especially in Australian Survivor. If you've watched, I hope to do a video on that someday because I have a fun video planned for that coming up soon once I finish binge watching to Australian versus the world. But anyways, Russell Hands, I mean, he definitely changed the way idols were perceived in the game and the power they hold. And I think it definitely would have been fun little chaos, even if he's only in there for a single episode. Like, how fun would that chaos have been? So, Russell's my number 3rd pick, my number 3 pick. I can't speak today. Aleks, pass it off to you.
I had Russell on my list as well. Great player, not really deserving. First player to like use idols as like a total strategy, and it worked out for him in Samoa. So yeah, Russell's a true game changer, a true villain as well. My next pick, my fourth pick actually, is going to be Terry Dietz.
I literally called you were about to do that too. You started, and I'm like, he's gonna pick
Yep.
Terry. I know he's gonna pick Terry. Like,
Just because of how dominant he was in challenges, like he was like a true challenge player. Have we've probably not seen like that big of a challenge player like ever really between Panama and the first season. So like him just totally beasting every challenge kind of, and just well except for the final uh a four challenge, which is just
that challenge felt so wonky because they did that like challenge like the day before where it's like the winner gets food, but then it's like a challenge about balancing. Like, if you're
yeah,
smallest, you win. Like, that was like it borderline felt rigged against him almost. It's like if
yeah,
you won that reward, you're fucked in that final immunity. Like,
yeah. Well, Terry, just a great social player, a great challenge player, kind of like that like good like like that good all around survivor player. So like that's why he's my fourth pick for game changers, a true game changer as well in the fashion of how dominant like players became for challenges. They really started to compete harder for challenges, seeing how Terry played that season.
I like that. My next pick is Yul Kwan. Yul is someone who, again, I don't think I have to explain. He literally controlled so much of the Cook Islands strategically. He definitely showed that if you're like good enough at the game, both socially and strategically, that can guarantee you a win over the physical aspect of the game any day of the week. Yule is such a great player. He definitely changed the way that whole course of the season went just by utilizing the super idol any chance he got. He even like pulled out the auction. He's like, "Whoa, here, everyone, I got it. I got it, everyone," and just everyone just let him walk to the end with it. Like he had such a good amount of control and just he earned his win. It's it's Yule. I love Yule. Like I'm passing off for your final guy pick, Aleks.
My final guy pick is going to be Penner, first player to mutiny off a tribe, and just his chaotic gameplay in Cook Islands really was like exceptional. Like he played such a fun like game, and like sure he was like a big like I want to be on the side where I want to be on the side where the idol is and yada yada. Like his also gameplay in Philippines as well. Like he did a really good job of controlling his tribe and like being like on the side of the vote, and then just kind of being kind of like like a little weasel kind of. So like his gameplay style was was game changing as well. And like he loved to like flip the votes and like be like and just like kind of flip I'll flip alliances and be like all that other stuff. But like yeah, he was a true like a true game changer.
Alrighty, I like that. My final pick for the guy side was definitely very difficult because there were a lot of names I definitely thought of. I don't know because it's like it comes down to two different people for me, and I really did kind of want to have some more people who would have been back on for a second chance for at this point in time. But I do have to think of the opportunities that could come up and bringing back my number 5 pick in Ozzy. And I mean, at this point in time, Ozzy actually is a game changer. At that point in time, he actually did deserve to be on that cast. Like it just made sense to bring him back, especially bringing him on a season against Yule. I think would be very interesting to put him on a season against. I think it'd be really interesting. I mean, we kind of saw how he ended up interacting with like JT, but like how he would have been with Russell Hands would have been hilarious. Like Oscar the Arrogant versus Russell the Arrogant. Like get them both fighting. Like how hilarious would that have been? Like, and to see the interactions between him and potentially some other people who I plan to put on the woman, I think could be very interesting. So Ozzy's my final guy pick. Aleks, you have any honorable mentions you want to talk about?
Yeah, Ozzy was also on my list as well. I just didn't pick him because you picked Yule, and I was gonna do Penner. So like I don't know if I want to really do Ozzy. So, but yeah, I'm glad you took him. So yeah, honorable mentions. David from Millennial versus Gen X, like a player who went from zero to hero almost, and like like made his way by flipping almost like every tribal basically. So huge just in general, like great, a great game player. Like made a fake idol, and it worked. And yeah, like a really true game changer for like a second chance season as well for him for game changers. That'd be pretty fun. But no, we had Zeke. Yeah, and then
Zeke.
also fair play. You know, game changing.
How did
Dead
I forget
grandma.
about fair play?
Yeah, the whole dead grandma thing. That's like never happened before, and that was a huge culture shock to like the whole well, no, reality TV show like thing. Like people were talking about that for years and years and years, and they're still talking about it today. So like fair play. Obvious game changer, a true villain as well. So yeah,
There definitely were some game changers I definitely thought into that didn't make on the cast. Primarily, I'm just going to talk about two of them. One of them is Burton from Pearl Islands. I mean, one of the first people to ever like get voted off and then come back into the game. I think he definitely was a very cutthroat player, and the way he was able to kind of utilize like everyone around him in the minority to make great blindsides alongside fair play, like the Rupert blindside, then going backstab Tawana and then backstabbing Krista like a second time. Like, I mean, if Burton had gone to the end with Lil and just kept her feeling good, I think he genuinely wins 100%. The other honorable mention I did think of was John Mish from San Juan del Sur. someone else who I really would have liked to have seen back, like a very strategic guy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I
guess
mean,
like I was thinking chance for like because like we're no we casted a lot of like old returning players, so yeah, I
yeah.
get it.
I mean, which makes sense for this cast. Like, it should have been more of that than
It should
like,
have been more old like returning players, like I kind of like I'll ask Hoorah, who's like not a winner, of course.
right. Yeah, like there were so many people who just should have been back in from the older seasons who just weren't. Because we
Yeah,
had to see Sierra Dawn Thomas. Granted, I'll give her slack because she was an alternate, but we had to see Haley Ford. Guys, stop the presses. We need fucking Zeke back. We need Varner back.
oh
We need
Varner, yeah,
Varner back,
oh yeah,
guys. Oh my,
Brad
like,
Culpepper, Brad Culpepper, why not? Right? Why not? Why not? Hey, why not?
but
Troyzan,
and then there was like some invisible
be interesting.
guy, like I think I thought I heard he got far, but I don't remember him on there.
Yeah, but yeah, like this, uh, this men's side could have been totally different, and it
Well,
should have
yeah,
been
exactly. If they would have tried, it's like 50. They didn't seem to try with like half the men. It's like they
yeah,
just picked who they wanted to have on, and like
yeah. But on that note, let's flip to the woman, and you're up first for the first pick for the woman.
there are so many picks that I think I could realistically put onto here. Um, this is a hard thing for the woman because I do pretty much have it narrowed down to the woman I want to have on. Again, it is mostly people who did not make the actual Game Changers cast. I am gonna take a former winner who I feel like you're probably gonna put on. If I didn't, Sandra.
Yep.
And Sandra, 100%. It's like two-time winner at this point. Come on. Like, I want to have at least two winners on my tribe too, which I technically have three, but I mean, considering the drama that could come up with Sandra versus Russell, Sandra versus JT, and even Sandra versus some other potential people that I'll talk about later on, I think it would be very interesting to talk about that whole thing. So that is my first pick for the woman. Aleks, I'll pass it on to you.
Yeah. Um. Hmm. I'm trying to think right now on who I want. Um. So because Sandra was also like my first pick as well.
She was. I knew it. I almost
Easily,
took someone else that
easily.
I thought you were gonna take, and I'm like, no, he's gonna pick
Yeah.
Sandra. I need to get
Um.
Sandra.
I'm gonna take Aubrey from Korong.
Ooh. Okay.
She was on the cast, and like at that time, she was like a really great player on Korong, and it did inspire production to kind of change the format of Final Tribal Council as well because of how bitter and like how like one-sided the jury was. Um, and like she was like a woman who was playing the game very hard and like was really like in the game mindset. And like of course she is like a true game changer for that as well. So like she is like a really good player as well. So that's why I give her that spot.
Definitely like that pick. Aubrey earned her spot on Game Changers. My number two pick is someone else who, despite limited screen time in their first season, I think definitely earned their spot in some type of any type of like season to bring her back on. Which why haven't they brought her back? It's Natalie Bolton. And I mean, come on. Eric gave her immunity. She's
Again,
part of the Black
I left
Widows
her out
Brigade.
just because I know you would take her. So like okay, it was due.
There's probably at least one pick I don't think you're gonna see coming. I will say that. There's like maybe a couple picks I feel like you're gonna know what I'm gonna pick, but there's at least one pick I know you will actually be surprised with. So, but yeah, Natalie Bolton. It's like, come on. Natalie earned her spot. Natalie, it's not a question. Like Natalie should have been back for this season. Like I was gonna leave
Yeah,
it at that. So,
yeah, yeah,
Aleks,
makes sense. Yeah, like the most like infinite like a trouble of all time as well. And yeah, it makes
so much
sense.
that they keep bringing Eric back out to parade him
Or
around everyone long
yeah,
after the poor kid's probably been tortured about it.
he's
Like,
been yeah put
and
on.
then they try to kill him a second time around.
Yeah. Um, my next player was not on Game Changers, but should have been. Yeah, yeah, maybe. Chaos Cass.
Cass, let's go. I love Cass.
Um, yeah, like again, like this, she really embodied like the chaotic nature of the game, and like sure, she was hated during the season, but like after season, she was like one of like the most like popular players that they wanted back, and being that like popular after a season where you just just flip on everybody and just like don't care, but because you're only playing for your own game and not everybody else's game is just a true like legendary moment in the season. Like Kaigan is like a top five season of all time, so it makes sense. But yeah, Cass is like just that like player who you don't want to see on your tribe, but it is so fun watching her. But yeah,
Well, and you said you put Tony on your tribe, right?
oh yeah,
Yeah, so imagine like her and Tony going at it, like,
yeah, great content. We saw it. We saw it on Kagayan, so
right?
let's see it again.
All right, my next pick is someone who was not a game changers. I think you guys know who I'm gonna pick. It's T Bird from Africa. You're smiling, Alex, because you knew exactly I was gonna pick that. It's probably the last of the obvious picks I would say I'm probably gonna pick, but yeah, T Bird, like, I mean, come on. She definitely, like, kind of, I was able to screw with Lex a lot, which in turn changed the entire events of, or, well, not the entire events, but a good chunk of what happened in Africa, which, in turn led Kim to crawl away to the win, or not to the win, but like to winning the final challenges. T-Bird definitely has a lot of potential. She definitely was able to help invent the idea of like throwing it at the swap. There's definitely a lot of big things that she did during a season that unfortunately it's like T-Bird should have been one of the few people who didn't make second chance, who should have actually been there in Game Changers. But
Yeah,
no, please God, I just can't survive without Brad Culpepper, without Troyzen Robertson, without guys. Oh my gosh, wait a minute. Get this. Apparently Troyzen was on Game Changers, guys. What the fuck? Sorry. I'm going on a rant again. That is my next pick is T-Bird. So passing back to you, Alex.
yeah. Um, my next player is a winner. She played a very good game, very strong game. Game changer in the reason where she got a challenge completely like banned from ever playing ever again. It's Natalie Anderson.
I knew you were gonna pick her. I knew you were. I called it. Sorry.
Oh yeah, like it. Yeah, like if you're making a challenge disappear for good because you totally beat the system and and nobody wanted to no betray anybody. It is like it's pretty. That is like a game changing move right there in general. Plus, her just kind of going on this like huge revenge arc for Jeremy's vote off, and then and then fucking like peaking at the John vote off. It's just like a really great story, and she really did a good job in that whole season of just kind of controlling the narrative and just being the person who did it all just because her number two got voted out pretty early in the merge.
Honest, I honestly regret low key not actually having John on my list now because imagine like the Natalie versus John stuff from like intertribal stuff, just being like John sucks. Natalie kicked my ass last time. Just like I could see that now.
Yeah.
Um, that's a great pick. So my next pick is could be seen as obvious by you, but it's like she earned her spot in this cast. It's Suri. Suri definitely earned her spot in Game Changers. I know you were just loving that pick.
I didn't even have her on the list. No surprise there.
Yeah, Suri earned her spot in the season, and especially with the drama that could be caused between her and Ozzy, her and JT, potentially even her and Sandra. Definitely Suri versus Russell would be fun to see, even though it is like four people from Heroes versus Villains on the same tribe. I think it's like, come on, how fun would it be to see that happen? Like, and I
Oh yeah,
think Suri definitely like earned her spot as one of the best Sim never won after Game Changers. I think that is definitely something we can all agree with, and like I mean, kind of hoping they just give it to her for 50, because if not, we'll probably see her for Survivor 60 and then 70 and then 80.
80, 90.
Like, I mean, I don't hate Suri. I do like Suri, but she's been in a lot of stuff. But I do like Suri. But Suri is my number 4 pick for the woman. Alex, who is your number 4
My
woman?
number four pick. We're getting deep into the into the trenches now. I might pick Amanda Kimmel.
Ooh, that's a good pick. Solid pick.
The first player to lose two final tribals. It's pretty crazy there. Um, she's an all around great competitor. She kind of fits in every single key element of Survivor, and like she kind of like is like that true like a true Survivor Survivor player. Um, but yeah, like deserves to be on Game Changers, and like she kicked ass in China, did a lot of good blind sides, and then also continuing on to Micronesia, where of course the Black Widow Brigade just completely took control of the game, and like they made one of the like again one of the best trouble councils in history with that Eric blindside. Not really a blindside, it's more like a dumb move in his part, but still, I'm like yeah, like like her being like the second in command with that is again just totally game changing. So yeah, she deserves her flowers for that.
I definitely agree with that. 100%. Amanda should have been on this cast as well. Don't know how she would have felt about being on a cast with Ozzy, but it's like, I mean, I think it would have been fun to see the
Not in the
Amanda
same
back
tribe.
again for sure. What do you say?
Not on the not on the same tribe.
Exactly, not in the same tribe. My final pick is the one I think might actually throw you off a little bit because there were a lot of people I thought. The women's field, I actually probably do have a little bit more honorable mentions with, but my pick for the final spot for the women's is Nalea Dennis from Marquesas. I was actually thinking between her and about like 3 to 4 other people, but like Nalea literally was one who finalized the move against Row 24, made the first ever post merge flip against the Power Alliance, kind of show people in future seasons of Survivor, like, hey, all because you were in the same starting trap doesn't mean you have to stick together with them. Nalea literally, I think, came in having the votes to win the game and then botched it at the end. The fact she was so close and I played a decent enough game at the time to where she would have been locked for a win, and then she just I think Nalea is definitely underrated, and I think a more mature Nalea would definitely be able to take power and control in the game. Probably, maybe she would be similar to Jenna Lewis in All Stars. Maybe she would be similar to like PG and Cambodia. Who really knows? But yeah, that's my last pick for the woman. Aleks, I'll pass off to you, and then we'll talk about our
All
honorable
right.
mentions.
I'm kind of going between kind of calm and chaos here. Do I pick another kinetic player, or do I want to pick another calm player? I think I'm going to go with Kim Spradling.
Ooh,
You know, she's she almost had a perfect game. Like she is such a dominant player in that season, and like seeing
fucking
her
Lee.
on Game Changers would be pretty cool to see because that season already has a lot of winners on it right now, and like she could blend in pretty well with the winners and like kind of be like be one of the more better underrated winners playing this game as well. But yeah, like she is a total dominant player, a competition threat, and just what her social skills were shown in one world completely right there. Her having the trust of every single woman on that tribe, and them basically just wanting her to win at that point. Plus the huge blindside on Cat as well. Like she deserved to be on that cast as well. And like, yeah, that was my final pick. It was it was between her and Sophie Clark. So
Yeah, I think those are pretty good picks. Kim, 100%, great pick. My honorable mentions, there was definitely a lot of people I definitely thought into. I definitely thought about Twyla and Amy, both from Vanuatu. Um I definitely thought into why am I blanking on names
oh
right
my god,
now?
I'm pissed. I should have picked Chris from Vanuatu. Huge game changer as well, right there. Damn.
I almost thought about Chian from Thailand and All Stars. I did briefly think about Kelly Goldsmith from Africa. I briefly thought about Jenna Lewis from All Stars. I definitely kind of thought about PG from China and Cambodia. And I also thought about Abby Maria from Cambodia. Um, a lot of really fun names of people who I would have loved to have seen back. So, Aleks, who were your honorable mentions?
Yep. Abby. So for mine, Abby Maria as well for sure. You know, a true villain of the game. Let's see who else. Oh yeah, Andrea Belke. Great player. Um, I'm surprised you forgot about
Andrea
her.
rocks. I've met Andrea in real life. She rocks.
What else? Oh yeah, Sophie Clark. Great player, huge game changer as well. But yeah, like those are like my three because everybody else was taken, which just means I made I made a really great list. That's what it
right?
means.
Like we made really good lists, I feel like. The people watching, thank you for watching. We will have our cast list up at the end, kind of like how we've done it before. I think there was a lot of really cool picks we had here today. What do you think?
Yeah, this cast will be 10 times better than the other cast for sure.
Well, they should have
But yeah,
just did second chance two at this point. Like
at
at
that
least
point they
then,
should
like
have just done it. Yeah,
right, it's like at least some of these picks would have made sense at this point. But no, what did you
yeah,
no? Because initially it was supposed to be pre-jurors versus jurors versus winners. And it was supposed to be 18 people, which makes it even more questionable. Like, okay, like not it gets an interesting twist depending on who you bring back, but at the same time, it's like, why?
yeah,
I think it's just they wanted an excuse to do second chances, but it's like they could have did that theme and second chances. You think of
yeah.
that? Props and CBS? I don't
Like
think
it's crazy
so.
because like Second Chance was also like their like best season ever made as well. Like again, top five best
Exactly.
season ever made.
Well,
Why
CBS
just
thought it
not
was too
capitalize on
soon
that?
after second chances to do second chances too. And to be
And yet we
fair,
not,
this is also the
and
group of
yet
people who
we
did Blood
still
versus
not
Water
gotten
too,
second
right after the
chances,
original.
and we've still not gotten second chances too.
Exactly. That's what 50 should have been. But no, in the hands of the fans works so well, Jeffrey. Even though you damn well know
Even
none
though
of the picks were what the
even
fans
though the
actually
hands of the
wanted.
fans, the hands of the fans didn't get to pick the cast, which is so dumb.
Yeah, I think I know where some of those fans' hands were on probes, but that's a different story. Um,
Yeah,
yeah, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to hear us talk more about our thoughts on 50 or hear our fun little rants and hear our fun little videos about any topic we've had on this channel so far and future stuff, subscribe to the channel, like the channel. We're going to be starting Survivor 43 content. I'm hoping we'll actually have a couple up there at the time of recording this. I'm very excited to get some stuff out for you guys. Go follow our Instagram at Survivor What If. Thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Richie. I've been here, my co-host.
I'm the co-host. I'm Alex. Love being here.
Yeah, we love having you here. Thank you guys for watching tonight, and have a great night.
See ya.